everybody. Welcome to Bizchicks TV. This is the place for tips, tools, strategies, and everything you need to take the hassle out of your hustle. Today is Tuesday, and so that means it is time for marketing talk with Coach TJ. Woo! Sit back, relax. Let's get into position for learning. She's got some really good stuff for us. Terry Johnson, online from New York City. Take it away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of marketing talk. And I just started to sing because there's a couple of people I follow on YouTube. They start their video like singing and stuff. I'm like, that's kind of, but now I'm picking up their habits. So, welcome, everybody. This is Marketing Talk, where we talk about all things marketing. We talk about marketing strategy, tips, tools, things that you need to know today to help you grow your business or your brand online, because as you know, things are always changing. That is, the state of marketing and the state of the world actually that we're in now. So I like to pay attention to data. There's a new study to me, and I signed up for a whole bunch of things, and then I forget. So I checked my email and I was like, well, what is this? And it was something interesting. It said the state of the consumer 2025. So I tapped on it and it led me to a PDF and a webinar, and it led me down the road to some other studies. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Somebody is paying attention to the consumer because, like I said, we're in a different space. Things are different. So there are people or data studies companies that make it their business to know what's in the mind of the consumer. So they have talked to a few people, and this company called Resonate. I will put the link in if you want the slides that I have. Unfortunately you have to put your email in and everything to get it. But I understand why they did that. And it's Resonate is a company that they have their own AI product, their own data intelligence, consumer data, consumer intelligence, and they have a tool based on AI, of course. Everything, everybody's trying to sell you an AI tool or give you an AI tool to help, and they are helpful. So this is like an in-house tool that they have. I think it's called RAI or something, and they use that. And they also looked at some studies from is it McKinney? Let me take a look. Is it McKinney? Yeah, McKinsey and Company. And then another one called Forrester. So I think I've heard of McKinsey and Company. Still doing some digging on that. So I was trying to go to their about page. But you can look at them. I will put the links in. So it's McKinsey and Company, that they use data from them. They used a Forrester study, and they have their own internal tool, which is to help businesses get in the mind of the consumer. So I thought they had some other studies, and this one was pretty, this one, the title caught me. That's how they caught me. They sent me an email. It said, oh, the latest state of the consumer 2025 report, and I clicked on it. I was like, hey. So it was about 30 slides. I edited the slides because we're not going to spend all day looking at all these slides. I thought it was interesting. And there's some other stuff from McKinsey and Company that I have a page from them that also have some numbers that are pretty good. What link was that?
No, that was something I hit by accident.
Mark says McKinsey. Yeah, McKinsey. Thank you, Mark. I haven't. No, it's not McKinsey. It's McKinsey. McKinsey and Company. Thank you, Mark. That's it. He's right. It's spelled a little differently, but that's it. I may have heard of them. It's not like Pew or my go-tos, but I will put them in the list now. So I'm getting a pop-up. Hold on a second. I'm getting a messenger.
No, pop-up or
no, I'm getting a message from my phone. So let me just, and I have it set to important people, so this must be important.
Okay, well then that's why we do what we do.
Oh, all right. Let me respond.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now let's get into the meat of this report. So I gave you a little background about Resonate. I tried to find their website, but it kept jumping to some other things. Um, okay, as Mark Warren says, sorry for the spelling. It is one of the most prominent consulting firms. Thank you. You see, like I said, I saw some consumer intelligence and data. I saw those words. So I was like, okay, they're legit. They have their own tool using AI and they want companies to use it. Got it. But they put out this study and I was like, we need to dig into the state of the consumer report and see what, what good stuff they have. So let's get into it. So this is my McKinsey. Let me start. Okay. All right, sorry guys. Let me bring up the study. And again, there's a link. I will put it in the comments. Let me do that now. I use Bitly to short it, because it was this long thing, and then when you click it, they won't show it to you. They want you to put your email and tell them a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, okay. But it's a real long URL. I shorten it with my Bitly, so you can, if you want to see this. Now I've edited. I've taken some out. So we're going to look at. So this is Resonate State of the Consumer Report called Trust, Technology, and Tranquility: Key Consumer Trends and Segments You Need to Accelerate Growth in 2025. So I'm like, hey, you got me with the title. Let me see what you got. So then they're going to tell me what's inside. And okay. Oh, why is it not moving?
Oh, it's moving. I see it.
Maybe I got too many tabs open.
No, I see it. It says what's
Okay. All
inside.
right. So, okay.
Button.
What's inside? Introduction, prevailing consumer trends. Then they point out 3 consumer segment keys to, this is a presentation to the businesses and corporations. So they have something they call the always on gamer, the wellness seeking consumer, the privacy focused consumer. We're going to look at a little bit of that because I got another study I want to try to fit in here. And then, they talk about they have their tool, and I think it's called R something. I took all that out because I'm like, I'm really not interested in buying your AI tool. So this is what they start with. They say upheaval and uncertainty. These 2 words define the experience of 2024 for brands and consumers. They talk about the election, the TikTok ban, rising prices, weather pattern, all of the things that add to stress for us. So they ask the question, where do consumers stand as 2025 begins, and what can marketers look forward to? So again, I'm like, hey, you got me. Let me see what you're talking about. So, according to Resonate's continuously updated AI powered data, so they got their own little AI model that they use. Americans are seeking calm after several years of upheaval. So they're talking about Americans, looking at the steady rising price of groceries, housing, essentials. They're looking to brands and the government to prioritize their wallets. We're trying to save money. Additionally, consumer lives are becoming more intertwined with technology, and people are mostly accepted of that. So there are a lot of people that don't accept technology in their lives, and that's cool. But it's going to happen, and we've talked about that. However, Americans want to know that they can trust companies with their personal information, and as the past few years have shown, they're prepared to respond by publicly decrying and moving away from companies that break this trust. True. People are starting to take privacy seriously, when we've talked about privacy a long time, when Zuckerberg came out years ago and was like, privacy doesn't matter and all that. So here we are, fast forwarding there, and you would be surprised at the group that is most concerned about privacy. Well, maybe not. I mean, I was a little bit. We'll see. So this report, they talk about 5 major trends marketers should expect to see in 2025. They talk about Resonators company and the stuff that they can offer to their customers. Okay, cool. Trend 1, consumers will seek a break from economic stress. So the economy was on our minds in 2024. The election was in our on our mind. Rising prices, grocery, housing, and travel left consumers feeling perpetually cash strapped. A recent study from Arizona State University noted that in 2024, trust between brands and consumers suffered greatly. They're saying a whopping 74% of Americans had at least one issue with the product or service, and they're saying, according to their data, brand loyalty is down. Now they got that study that 74%. There's an asterisk. It says Media Post article December 11th, 2024. I know about Media Post. I'll go check it out later. There was so much, uh, data and reference. I was like, I can't check everything, but I will. So I'm like, I'm trusting you, Resonate. So they're talking about the things that, and they say one thing is certain: Americans want a break. They've made changes to their shopping habits, postponed big purchases, and gone without non-essential items. Eggs, everybody, is not essential to me, and they feel like those measures worked. So now Resonate is also on this slide talking about their winter consumer trends report. So I'm seeing that they do like a maybe a quarterly or a seasonal uh consumer trends report, which I'm like, okay, I'm going to check out the next one they have. So their Resonate is now on my radar. So thank you. Whatever I signed up for sent me an email. And they sent me a newsletter. So see, newsletters work. There's some information. So they're saying that in their winter consumer trends report, it said 73% of consumers who are in debt feel like they are managing it better, but people are feeling more optimistic about their personal finances and the economy. Now they're looking to government leaders, but they're not looking to government, but to brands as well, to give them and their wallets a rest. And of course, they've done this study before. I would, like, they're not taking in what's happening now, because this is a study from probably the end of 2024. So they were just starting to get into looking at how people are feeling. And of course, this isn't every American. Let's get that straight. Not every American. There are lots of people, you hear in the government layoffs. This company is laying off. You got tariff talks. There's supposed to be some tariffs coming not next month, tomorrow or something. It's so up in the air. So there's a lot of uncertainty. But this is what they had up until probably January. So I thought this was interesting, and I look forward to see what else they have. Is there any questions so far? Let me come back to you guys. Is there anything that
I
sounds
don't
shocking or
know.
okay? It pretty much on trend, right? This is pretty much
Yeah.
they're pretty much right. So that's why I was like, okay. Trend 2, brand loyalty program participation will increase. So they're talking about brands and brand loyalty and how to keep um consumers loyal to your brand. And because what happened is, well, I'll paraphrase this, the price became the thing that everybody was concerned about over other purchasing things. Americans started showing less brand loyalty in their shopping behaviors, instead looking for cheaper alternatives and switching either stores or brands to save money. Now, we've always done that, but it's just because the pressures of the economy forces more people to say, hey, wait a minute, let me not just run out and buy stuff. Let me look at my wallet, let me look at my budget, and maybe I will put that purchase off because it's not a necessity, or I will look at something that is a different brand that's a little less, can save me some money. So they're saying that there's good news with the brand loyalty programs, that this will increase the participation levels if the customer takes part of the brand loyalty program. Everybody knows what a brand loyalty program is, right? It's like if you go to a
Or
coffee shop.
like if you get a card from
Yes.
Chipotle or whatever,
Yes.
they give you points and they give you perks and stuff like that, and you'll go back for the perks.
Yes, you go back
Uh,
and see. Grubhub does that for me. Like, I use Grubhub a lot, and I look in there, and they're like, "Oh, you got $7, or you got this." And that. So that's an incentive for me to say, "Okay, you know what? I want to," because that little money will expire. So I'm like, okay, let me order something because I'll use that $5 or that $7. That's
Right,
kind of like a brand loyalty program. You get rewards. Oh, that's another one. Rewards, points, airlines, different things like that.
right. And there for me, um, the
Hmm.
simplicity of the brand.
Yes.
Like I will go back to because I use Instacart to shop. Now they got a bunch of stores in Instacart that you can shop with.
Yeah.
All the grocery stores, including Costco and stuff. But I tend to go back to the one store
Right.
because I know where I know what the items are, and I don't go fishing at the other stores. I could, but then and then there's yeah. So there's some little things like that.
Okay. Hold on. I got another.
Yeah, so I tend to stay loyal to one brand. Um,
Right.
it's in,
So
because
right.
I
So
know
this
the pattern.
right. You're comfortable with them. And especially if it's Instacart for sake because it's the unknown. It's like okay, I need XYZ, but I'm paying for it, and there's a shopper I don't know. It depends on how the app is set up. But you meet the shopper? Do you not meet the shopper? Because I don't use Instacart. I do Amazon Fresh or I go in person because now we're
Right,
we're
because
doing a lot of
but
in person. But
you know what you're going to get when you go into Amazon
right,
because you've already studied it out, you've made
yes,
a plan or whatever. And
yes,
that's the same thing I do with Instacart.
right.
I'm like, okay, I know what store I'm shopping at and I know what stuff I can buy. And my groceries don't change that often. I'm not
Right,
buying.
but you have to depend on the person that takes the order, right? Like Instacart, it's different people. Like you don't know the person that's doing the shopping
n-
for you.
I don't know the person that's doing the shopping, but I do know the store.
Right.
And so sometimes you get the person who buys the bananas that got brown spots and like,
That's what I
dude,
mean. That's what I mean. I've heard lots of
dude,
horror stories about people not getting their order or getting their order, and like you said, I'm very particular about stuff like that. So that's why I don't even order like fresh fruit on Amazon Fresh because I read the reviews and they say, oh, the strawberries, this and that, and I'm like, nope. If I buy my strawberries, I want all of them not. I don't want any this, rotten or
and you have to
decaying.
tell, yeah, you have to be very
But see,
specific
that's
with
because of me. The person that's shopping is like, hey, strawberries, throw it in the
right,
basket.
right. And you have to say uh in the app somewhere, I want bananas that are slightly green, or do you
Right.
understand? Or you're gonna get they just
Right.
pick up
And see, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the shopper, which I understand if you got a good shopper, can you request that shopper all the time? That's what I would want to do. Like this person picked out the great bananas, or this is one of the things I saw online was eggs. So I was like, oh, eggs are really inexpensive if I get them online, but people were showing pictures of broken eggs. Like they got a dozen of eggs, only two eggs survived out of the carton. There was so many pictures. And I was like, well,
right.
why would I it defeats my purpose to pay to $3.99 for some eggs, and then I only get two. When
Yeah,
I just have to go to the store if I want eggs and get them because I can pick it up. You see what I'm saying? I can pick it
right,
up myself.
right. But
I will open the carton and look.
right. And with no, I haven't bought any eggs. I have an egg substitute, so that is
Right.
not a
But see,
thing
that's
for
what I'm
me.
saying. I was like, okay, let me look at the eggs on here. I was like, oh, that's a good price. But then I read the reviews because I'm like, that's a fresh item. Now, frozen stuff or what they call shelf stable, I have no problem because it's shelf stable. It's in a package, it's in a box. I
Yeah.
don't work.
Yeah, Mark has a comment. He says, I gave up my Prime membership last November and no longer shop at Target. So I have to adjust. And so you know what? I have survived.
Yes, that's what that's thank you, Mark, for making that point. That's what I'm like, I haven't bought eggs in I don't know when because I'm like, I'm not an egg person. They were nice to have, but I was like, I'm not spending $20 for a dozen of eggs. That's what they
No.
cost in New York.
And then he says, with a grocery delivery, I always add the notes. Check
Ah,
the expiration date. I tell them about the bananas too. And
Listen,
yes, that is a thing.
that's my
Please
pet
check
peeve.
expiration dates.
Or can you, if I'm in a rush and I forget, and that happens in my store. Like that's not even like an online thing. That's just like, cause the store, I know the store doesn't care. I know the little tricks. I know when the meat department guys put out the packs of chicken or whatever, they put the old stuff in the front because they know most people will just come in absent-mindedly. I need some ground beef, picks the first item. I've taught my daughter, look behind, because I've seen them do it time after time, time after time. I'm like, you guys put the fresh chicken, the fresh meat, the fresh whatever they've gotten from the butcher in the back, and they wrap it. You guys stick that in the back for everything. I'm like, no, no, I've gotten burned. So, and not just with meat, just with anything. I taught her,
Yeah,
you have to look at, because I'm spending my money. If it's something that expired, I can't eat that.
no. And then and see, I'll take it back.
Yes, I've done that. And I'm just like, now I'm just like, my mom says check the date, pick it up, check the date. Or the chicken, and they don't like to see me coming. These guys, they know me. I will dig through that. They got the chicken pet in I will move everything and stick my hand in the bag for everything. Cause I'm like, you're not gonna get me like that. I'm sorry. This is my money. I'm
Yeah,
spending way too much in
and
here anyway.
like I guess back in the day, people, oh, it's okay for one more date. No, not when it comes out the store. It needs to have some days because
Hey, I've
I
told you
need.
the story about Heinz 57 and how it came about, right? You remember that?
Yeah, I'm like, no, man, I need to have
There's
some
a reason
days.
why it's called 57. It's not just a number that they picked out of the air. I was like, the way they had to do things back in the 1800s or whenever it was, I'm like,
I'm glad I
and,
wasn't born there.
mm,
Mark has a comment. He says, I don't like getting a gallon of milk that is set to expire the next day. Come on.
dairy, yogurt, milk. I mean, I'm telling you, these guys know me. They hate to see me coming, and I fuss, and I'm like, because this is my money. I even get to the cashier know me there. I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to spend this much, guys. What is going on? And they laugh at me. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
So yeah, and so the back to your loyalty
right,
program participation.
right.
Man, I will stick with someone if they're going to take care. And Instacart is real good. If I put in a thing after I got something that was expired or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I just tell them, hey, this was da 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 da. They
Right.
will they will give me a
Give you
credit.
credit, or yes,
Yeah.
they will compensate you in some form of fashion. My store that I go to, they're like, eh, that's New York. They're like, okay, whatever. And I'm like,
You should
okay, I got you.
buyer beware. I'm like, no, no
They
buyer
don't care.
beware. Y'all need to have that stuff right.
They don't care. So I'm like, I either learn to, whatever, or how am I feeling? Okay, if I want to go back. But get it, that's what the brand loyalty is. So they're talking about this trend that this will increase because you're giving them something. Like I said, you go in the app, you got a coupon, and they say, you get $5, you get those things are incentives to buy. All right, so trend 3, and this one I was like, ooh, trend 3, social media usage will increase.
Mm.
We've talked about this. I remember. Do you remember early this year when I said that people were not going to leave Meta and they weren't going to delete their accounts?
And
Didn't
they
we
have
talk about
not.
that?
Yeah, they have not done that.
Didn't we talk about that in January?
Hmm.
Oh,
Everybody's
I'm
like, I'm just
deleting.
not gonna do it. Okay, whatever.
They were mad, and I'm like, yes, be mad, but follow through on your action. They have never, and when I mean they, the general public of the people that, and it's always like Facebook. The Cambridge Analytica, oh, we're leaving, we're packing our bag, we're angry. I understand that, but that is something that is all talk. Just like when people say, oh, I'm gonna vote for so and so, and they go in there and vote for somebody else. It happens like that all the time. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, social media usage is going to increase, even though there's negative press, the TikTok ban, and they talk about that in here. All of those things that you hear parents and grandparents and people say. But we know as business owners, and I tell you, where's the customer on this? So where should you be as a business or a brand who you want to grow and get more clients, customers, exposure, whatever? Social media. You don't have to, but that's where it is. So they're saying that because just what I said about the negative press, the government, the TikTok. Remember all of those hearings where they were calling the CEOs to the task, and they were, and the parents were there, and I feel bad for the parents. They were there with the pictures of the children, but what has happened since then? TikTok hasn't been banned. We'll find out in a few days what's going to go on, but I think they're just going to kick the can down the road again legally. April 5th, June 7th. Pick some dates. Pick some dates because it's turned into a political football. This TikTok ban thing, and we're going
Mm-hmm.
to see what happens. So, they're saying that despite all this, social media platforms are going to grow into entertainment and shopping hubs in 2025. Furthermore, usage is expected to increase by 10%. Along with this shift, consumers will continue to seamlessly blend online and offline experience as a hybrid. Social media, streaming, and gaming will continue to play a significant role in shaping purchases decisions and brand interactions, resulting in new opportunities for brands to engage with consumers throughout their purchasing journey. Okay, so and then they reference a Forrester report. So this note, they say 2025 will be the year social commerce becomes a staple on media
Mm-hmm.
plans. Furthermore, Forrester shows that nearly half, 46% of U.S. online adults who did back to school shopping bought directly from an ad they saw on social media, a stark contrast from previous years when social shopping wasn't on their radar. So that's an example from the Forrester Predictions 2025 Media and Advertising, dated October 22nd, 2024. I got to dig that up. I was trying to find it on the website. They got so much stuff. But that's what Forrester is saying about social media. What do we think of this?
I just heard that social commerce is a new thing. I mean, just now when you just said that social commerce, so people are gonna okay, social commerce is like, isn't that like Facebook Marketplace
Facebook
and
Marketplace. Well, but in this instance, running an ad. They used the parents who were back to school shopping.
mm-hmm,
Um, in here in New York, it used to be you just go to Staples. Like it was like, Black Friday up in there right before school started, because everybody's in there with their list of stuff, and Staples knows that, so everything we needed was at the front of the store. Then they put some stuff in the back because that was to get, the foot traffic. But that's how things have changed. It's like, okay, instead of that, they see an ad because why? Because the parents are on the phone, and you go to
yeah,
Instagram, go to Facebook, go to something. There's
but
an ad, back to school shopping. Oh, I gotta do that. I'm a parent. I'm rushed. I'm busy. I'm not time stamped, time crunched.
mm-hmm,
I
but
tap the
this
ad.
okay, but this makes sense though, because the parents are all people who are in the digital age. They grew up
Yes,
in the digital age.
yes, yes,
And so they're gonna use the coupons and the stuff inside the app and tap
yeah. Do
and
I
shop.
take the paper list and bundle up the kids and fight with the other kids and parents for the stuff that's in the Staples, or do I just tap this ad that I saw on my phone and bloop, it comes to me, and it's not, whatever retail business this is. This is
And then
what it is.
the retail business has made it so that it's one click shopping.
Right,
Not like it used to be where you click and then you go to another page and then another page and another page. No, they send you straight, almost straight to checkout.
right, right, because they want to get rid of the barriers to purchasing. So, I saw this and I was like, hmm. There's all these attacks on social media. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but this is like the letter that they wrote about stopping AI. Anybody remember that letter in 2022? It was like all these important people wrote a
Wait,
letter.
they got in there,
To,
including EM,
yeah,
and talking
yeah.
about we need to put a stop and make it slow down. Really?
And we know why EM was in there because this was Open AI. And he had his own little thing he planned. So of course he wants to stop OpenAI. But I was like, there's nobody with a button. There's not a factory with a button and somebody pushes the button and AI stops. I was like, oh, who's doing that?
It has been getting faster and better day by day. Um, that I just came. Oh, I think I shared that on Friday about
Mm-hmm.
the image generation uh, with Chat GPT. I was
Yeah.
like, what? Oh,
Yes,
yesterday
there's
I
been some
shared it.
changes. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was yesterday. But the image generator just got a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm. And
And I'm
Gemini
talking
too.
about it
Google
doesn't morph.
Gemini. Mm-hmm.
Right, but this is overtaking Gemini in the sense that you know how the text always seems to get morphed when you are doing an image and the
Mm-hmm.
spelling is always wrong. It
Right.
doesn't mess up the spelling and stuff anymore.
Right.
I
Because the
was like,
reasoning
oh,
models, the reasoning models is, I don't want to say thinking, but learning, because that's what compute, that's what programming is. Like it gets, you would write a program and it would be so long with the if and this and buts, but now you have what, little pieces of shortcuts. So that's what's going on with AI, that is learning is faster, is shorter. So it will be faster, the result will be faster, the result will be better.
yes.
So
And I've been amazed by it and the different things people are doing it with
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't even know where the road is going to lead from.
And this was last year,
Mhm.
literally, was it last year, November? Not November 2024. I think it was 23 when they were like, stop, shut it down. It's moving too fast.
Yeah,
I was
that's what I
like,
was saying. That when it first came out, they were, all these people wrote this letter like there was somebody with a button to turn the factory off. That's not how it works.
and OpenAI was the only one out doing anything. DeepSeek
Right.
has,
They were the publicly, like the biggest. Like that was where it exploded, but everybody was always in the background doing things. But I knew that you're not going to be able to stop this. It's not, it's like when I always bring it up about electricity. There was not a person who's going to stop that. It's like change the world. Like when they discovered fire, change the world.
because um, because Word Hero and those type of things were out a long time ago,
Right.
but not until ChatGPT came out did
Cuz
anybody
and
notice.
I think it's because chat, it was a easy tool to use versus, not that the other ones were hard, it was just that those were more focused as far as the tech community, or the nerdy bros, or the people that pay attention to that. They were like, we already know about this, but it became a thing because, well, the consumer who didn't know was like, oh, look at
Right.
this thing, and you could, so it was like, thank you, Dr. Taji.
And then Mark has a comment. I love when Tachi loves when teaching stuff.
Thank you, Mark. All right, so let's get back into this, because I think there's a couple more slides. So this is trend number 4. Consumers will expect personalization and privacy protection. So
Yep.
this is the McKinsey part of it. They said a McKinsey studies found that over 70% of Americans expected the companies they do business with to deliver a personalized experience. There's an asterisk somewhere for one of the McKinsey and Company reports, which they've got their own stuff, which was brought in here. So there's, they're talking about using AI tools to ensure that every part of the customer journey is personal, from the ads they hear on the radio to the checkout and next best experience. That's what we were talking about. That it's all about the whole journey of it. Once you get them in the loyalty program, once you get them to buy, it's about keeping them in that little customer journey groove. AI is making it easier. So, and then
Yeah.
they said more and more companies have been collecting and utilizing personal data from customers, resulting in increasing concerns about privacy. Okay, so this is like we know what's going on. We know what what you guys are concerned about. Trend 5: consumer activism will continue to decline. And this one was interesting. I didn't really like pay attention to this one, but this is about cancel culture, um, different things. So they're saying that, and I gotta really look at and read this, but let's read a little bit about it. Cancel culture has reached a tipping point, thanks in part to do with social media, which allows some celebrities, influencers, careers to be snuffed out in a matter of hours, and then others to have their popularity resurrected so they can rise. Consumers have begun to find this cycle exhausting. This is another part of modern life they want to break from. 60% are expected to tune out. Interest in brand activism steadily declined due 2024. As of the end of the year, the number of consumers who wouldn't be more inclined to buy from a brand for supporting a particular social justice cause is over 40%, an all-time high. Resonate, they're saying their data has shown over the last 3 years shows the fickle nature of Americans. And remember, we're talking, this is a US study, Americans when it comes to social justice. For instance, mental health was once a cause consumers felt very strongly about when making a purchase. A year ago, they were much more likely to buy from companies that demonstrated mental health advocacy. Now, consumer interest in the cause has declined at a steady rate. The bottom line: brands will have to walk a fine line and distinguish between genuine consumer sentiment and social media noise to effectively engage their audience and remain relevant. Okay, so now I see what they're saying. So what do we think about this?
Okay. So, when did this report come out? This week?
This was I'm not sure the date, but this, they're just saying 2025, so I'm pretty sure the data was gathered up until December.
Okay. Well,
Mhm.
they can say that consumer activism may continue to decline. I think it goes from different subject to
Mhm.
subject, depending on
The
what it
focus.
is.
The focus.
Yeah, the focus
Mhm.
is okay because we've gotten because the noise was made about mental health. Now mental health is a part of almost everything
Right, it's being
everything done.
absorbed. Yeah, it's not much, it's not standing out like it did in the beginning because now we've
Correct.
accepted it more.
Right. And so they
Okay.
want you to breathe and they want you to take time and all of that. So then they went on to take a different stand on something else,
Mhm.
like the boycotts of some stores,
Target and Amazon and those
Walmart,
things.
Amazon, and
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
It is
Mhm.
being effective, even though don't nobody want to say anything.
Right. Right, it is. And see, media's not reporting on that because, corporations are like, hey, don't talk
Yeah,
about
but yes, but it is having an effect.
it.
So
Right.
and then something else will be a topic once, you know what I'm saying? So I don't
Right.
think the activism will necessarily decline. It'll just move to another topic.
Right. I went back to the original PDF, and they don't really have a date when they, because most of the time they will say date from whatever, whatever. But because a lot of this isn't, they use internal AI data that they gathered, they didn't
Hmm.
really put that. But I'm just assuming because looking at the articles from McKinsey and Forrester and some of the other places, like the last one was like December. So I know
Right,
that if they put out a report now, you can't put out a report from yesterday's data. It's like 3 months
right.
prior,
Okay,
3 to 6
yeah.
months, or the previous year. So that's why I said a lot of the things, especially about talking about the economy and people feeling good about the economy. In December, it was a different feel from what it is now.
Hmm.
So I know that just from just knowing and knowing the news. So again,
Right.
these reports aren't going to be like today. It's going to be
No.
like the last 3 to 6 months.
Mark has a comment here. He says Americans are fickle. Americans are also overwhelmed right now. It's coming
Mm-hmm.
from all directions. Sometimes turning it out, sometimes tuning it out is the only way to maintain your mental health.
Exactly. And see, if we think about where we were in December 2024 versus now, we were in a different spot. So that's how I know it doesn't include anything after December
Mark said
2024.
this headline was written by executives at Tesla, hoping that it would be true.
Ah, yeah, and see, resonate that I was trying to I have to do some more digging, but they have internal data that they gather from whoever their customers are, or survey. I don't know the ways because they haven't shared that. I just saw this and I was like, okay, let's talk about it. But because there's the DEI stuff going on, that sometimes what's happening in the media will turn some people's ideas and thought processes to whatever the media is controlling. And I know Dr. Tachi can talk about that a lot, but that is a piece of it, especially social media. There's like a follow the leader kind of thing with some people or some groups. And then, like Fran said, other groups will be like, no, 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 we're going to ramp it up. So it depends on who they talk to. But this is internal data. They're not talking to consumers. They're talking to their customers, their business customers, who talk about their experiences with their customers. See, that's the
Right.
difference here. That's the difference.
And then, like you always have told us, a study is only a partial
Mm-hmm.
sample of
Mm-hmm.
people. It's
Can't
not,
talk to everybody.
no. Dr. Tachi said exactly. Who did they talk to?
Cause like this because they're selling this AI tool that they have. I'm pretty sure that they've talked to their customers who are
Mhm.
corporate large businesses, and they have their own client data, their customer data. Because every corporation will have their own internal data, and they gather it. Yeah, no, I don't. This is not a survey of consumers. This is them talking to their clients and what
So,
the clients
yes,
are saying about their business. That's what
right.
this is. This is not Statista or the Pew, because Pew will talk to a sample. This is not what it is. This is like a company that has internal data, and they are this one of these reports, and a lot of these reports they put out because they have a AI tool that they want more corporate businesses to use. So this is
And
based on,
so the data
this is
may
not public
be,
facing data. These are our customers, our clients who are corporate entities who have their own internal data, and we ask them what is the state of their business, what are the state of the customers, and they know that because they are a corporation. They have departments that do that. So that's where this comes from. This
right.
is not like a Pew study. All right, so let me see. There's a few more. So from all the data that they have internally, three key consumer audience you need to grow in 2025. So this is what they are focused on. For the three that they pulled out, the top three. One was the always on gamer. So this one was they were talking about that gaming and the gaming culture has grown steadily. I mean, I know that from like I have gamers in my house. I go online, you hear the community. They're on Twitch, they're on YouTube, they're this and that. They have their own community. So they're saying that this is something that is going to grow. So this is one of the like ideas or one of the personas you want to get into. If this applies to your business, if it doesn't, you could just skip it. But because they started going on the days when gaming was for basement dwelling hermits. It's not that anymore. It's a lot of millennials, Gen Zs, older people, because just like Mark said, where did Mark say it? Where did Mark? Oh, here we go. Mark, because Mark said sometimes tuning it out is the only way to maintain your mental health. Well, here you go. You got some people that will do this instead of meditating or yoga or whatever. They're doing this to take away from the reality of the world that they probably may have to work in, live in, talk to, whatever. It's like, okay, I can go into this world of gaming because that's a community in itself. Because I know people that have gamed for a long time. They have grown. They have a close knit community. Like they know everything about their families. Like the one started out as the college kid, and now he's married with kids, and they all of those kind of things. So this is like a community where you say they're because they're really saying it's not the way you think about it before. They're always on gamer. This could be an older person who again they may want to escape, and I'm glad Mark said that you want to escape what the reality of our world is, especially now, and instead of watching Netflix they're doing this. So that's where this is coming from. There's a little bit more. So um the top 3 personal values: living a life full of excitement, novelties, and stimulation; acquiring wealth and influence; being in charge and directing people. And the always on gamers incorporate technology into many parts of their life. In addition to gaming, they are dedicated internet users who frequently watch online videos and streaming channels. They have tech friendly homes filled with smart appliances. They value a life full of excitement, novelties, and challenges, are driven by creativity, all of which can be achieved in some sense by playing the game, because this is the real part of it. The game has these quests and worlds and rewards and things, and if you're not in this world you won't understand it. There's a wheel on the right. This is the resonate personal values wheel. This is some internal thing that they have when you're a customer, so we don't need to pay attention to that. So that's the online always on gaming. And I thought this was interesting because they have looked at, now this is like doesn't add up to 100%, but this is like 18% of Generation Z is composed of this, or 36% of millennials, or 28% of Generation X, 17% of boomers. And then they have the silent, which is less than 1%, which is, that is a small, the silent generation is very small, very, very small.
But I
So
bet you the silent, sorry, I bet you the silent generation is probably playing solitaire on the, on the computer.
yeah. No, on a digital device. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So I just looked at this as like, okay, this is like a real good look at, okay, the top TV networks, the top apparels, top gaming subscriptions. I mentioned Twitch. Yeah, EA Games, EA Access. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with Ubisoft Plus. And then they talk about top attributes most look for in the games: to spend time with family and friends. As I said, they have a big community that, again, it's about, I'm glad Mark brought that up. It's about mental health, it's about escaping. And some people may, walk or meditate or yoga but then there's others, mostly male, I won't say all male, mostly male, that will want to go into this world that is their mental health, where they're connecting with people that they are friends with online. Because a lot of these games you're playing online, like you're playing real people online. So
Right. Could
there's
you put
always a negative. There's always a negative. Don't think about the negative of what was it, the swatting. What were they doing? They were sending people to people's houses and stuff. And you got the negative, but this is more of the positive side. Go ahead.
could you put the link in the chat again for Dr. Tachi wants to know where to get a copy?
Oh
As
yeah.
you, yeah.
Okay, let me put it because it was long, so I made a bit.ly.
Yeah.
And they want, did it go through? Did I hit enter? Did it go? Oh no, it didn't. Okay, hold on. Ubisoft is
A
video
gaming
game.
company.
Yeah. So this when you go through the link, they're gonna want your name and email and all that other stuff. to download. Again, I have to do some more research on Resonate, the company itself, but it is consumer intelligence and data. And this report was mostly about their AI tool. I just took those things out because I was like, I'm not here to be a customer. I just want to look at the information internal. Think of this as internal information, not external. Like they didn't talk to consumers between the age of 18 and 34. They didn't do that. They didn't talk to consumers. They talked to their clients who are corporations who have consumer goods companies, and they talk to their customers and they know what the customer is thinking and everything. All right, so that I just wanted to bring that up because that's one of them, but I really want to talk about the wellness seeking consumer. So here we are getting into the wellness and the mental health of it. So they're saying a focus on wellness has become crucial, particularly post pandemic, as evidenced by the proliferation of gyms, spas, and vaguely titled wellness centers. This focus has been further amplified as a reaction to the stresses of the last few years, which many Americans feel are distinctly unhealthy. Yes. And then remember, this cutoff is December. So think about the last 3 months. It really has ramped up the stresses and everything. So a lot has changed due to this new administration. We're in a different spot. So the wellness seeking consumer. So and they're saying wellness as in quotes as wellness because it's not okay, it's not therapy. It includes therapy, but it may include yoga or it may include going to the gym and they do a special kind of class where you meditate or all of that wellness is like a big catchword for it. So
And
I love that they go ahead.
I would also think that it's you like the vitamin water, like
Yes, vitamin
with where you
water,
get your green juices and
right?
stuff.
All the
So
products, yeah, all the products
everything,
that are in that wellness. So
right?
because it's not a medical term, it's not a it's
It's
wellness.
just people are taking their health more
Yes,
seriously.
health conscious.
Health conscious. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's the word I was looking for. So in on this chart, because they mentioned that they have a tool, it's called RAI. So they again remember the AI needs a data set, a library, so to speak. So it's used with their resonate with their data set. So they're saying that 13% of Gen Z fall into this, 29% of millennials, 29% of Gen X, 27% of boomers, and 2% of silent. So that is going to be, and I'm not sure the index. I was trying to figure it out. Again, this is an internal tool that they have. So it's probably like when you buy the tool, you're in there, you know what this index. But I look at the composition and then the breakdown of the generation. And there's more. So the wellness seeking consumer, they're Americans who are actively health conscious. Here they go. Health conscious in many aspects of their lives. They use technology to support their health and are excited about the new possibilities for tech and wellness to intersect. They use mobile apps mainly for health and fitness, actively searching for medical information or advice online. They use telehealth. I love telehealth. Telehealth this year and intend to do so next year and are excited about AI being integrated into various parts of daily life, including health. And I agree with them that AI is going to be a bigger part, play a bigger part of every industry. There's
Hmm.
not an industry it's not going to touch or transform. The top TV networks, HGTV, National Geo Wild, and Freeform, apparel retailers Reebok, Banana Republic, and DSW. Again, this is their own internal data, and there will probably be other studies that when they talk to the actual consumers, there will be different things that they will say that their favorite network or their favorite brand and apparel. So they're saying 50% get excited for new tech products, 13% expect a reward for recommending a tech product, and 30% consider themselves tech first adopters, early adopters. And let's see, what did I want on here? Just some more about their mindset. They're aware of their family health history, make careful choices. They work out to improve their health, plan to purchase health and beauty products. Their hobbies are health and fitness related. They enjoy yoga and watching sporting events like the Olympics. And some things that they're, that is top of mind. So that is with the wellness, what was it? Wellness focused?
Yeah, the wellness
Wellness
focus.
seeking. Wellness seeking.
Okay.
And then we have the last. Oh, any questions about that before we go to the last one? The wellness.
I don't see any questions.
Okay. Because I'm not on that. I'm not on the stream yard.
I'm looking for
Okay.
that, and
All right. So
sometimes
we have
it'll be
the
delayed.
privacy focused consumer. There's a and I thought this was interesting. They said there's a persuasive theory going around that the younger generations aren't concerned with privacy at all. They're more willing to enter their personal information to get a discount code on a retail site, to tag their location on social media, and to post photos and videos that cover all manner of subjects, regardless of who can see them. Now, I agree with that. The younger generations don't really care about you seeing what they're posting. That's what they're doing it. They're doing it for that. So they're saying that regardless of Resonate data, and this is the company, shows that this theory is correct. Overwhelmingly, the privacy-focused consumer are older. They're members of the silent generation, baby boomers, and Gen X. Furthermore, the privacy-focused consumers aren't a small group with a niche concern. They're a segment of over 77 million individuals, just over 32% of the population. Now, more about the privacy-focused consumer, and if you can look at this makes a lot of sense to me. I'm just looking at the index, like, yes, that tracks, because boomers, with 34% of the boomers, they are concerned with privacy, versus Gen Z is 10%. See, that's the opposite of all the other charts and things that we've seen, but it tracks because boomers aren't online sharing everything about what they do. They don't do that because you grow up analog. Everything wasn't shared. But Gen X, a little bit more equal to millennials, because these two groups are kind of, aligned. And then Gen Z is the smallest group of concerned about the focus on privacy. To see who's on TikTok talking about everything. Gen Z. Instagram, sharing all the everything in their lives. So they've grown up that way, whereas the older generations did not. Grew up analog. You grew up with a regular phone with push buttons and not the smartphone. So they're saying that baby boomers in particular have a significant amount of buying power. That we all agree on that. Out of all the generations, they're the ones who spend the most. So it's likely to either make up some of your current or so this is a study focused towards their customers. Any questions about that?
Mm-mm.
That tracks. I'm talking about privacy. The group that's going to be most concerned is silent boomer Gen Z. Yes, we agree with that. The privacy focused consumer, the audience isn't very engaged online. That's not a shock. They're significantly unengaged. Less than 10% heavily use social media, watch internet videos, or listen to podcasts on the radio. These consumers also stay away from apps. 13% haven't used any in the last 2 weeks. However, they're not completely tech avoidant. They mainly watch traditional TV. 22% are heavily engaged via this medium, and streaming TV. 17% are heavily engaged on this medium. This audience may not be first adopters, but that doesn't mean they're tech averse. Here are the benefits they're looking for from the technology: saves time, good value for the money, and secure. So that's where the privacy focus comes into play. Now, the top 3 personal values: caring for nature, obeying laws and fulfilling obligations, and freedom to be creative. They want to use themes of innovation, originality, and cleverness in your creative. So these are the things that they're saying. This is what they value, the top 3 according to data they have, and this is what you might want to do if you want to reach the privacy focused consumer. Again, this wheel on the right is their internal AI tool. And they didn't explain it because it's like, okay, you're a customer, you know what that is. But I'm just interested in like what was in here. All right, so the privacy focused consumer, just because excuse me, just because they're concerned about privacy doesn't mean this audience isn't interested in utilizing technology for a variety of activities that require personal information like credit card numbers, healthcare information, or dimensions of rooms in a home. They just want to be safe while they do the activities like meeting with healthcare providers, attending recreational events like concerts, using cameras to determine how furniture would look in a room. I thought that was interesting because it's like, they it's that you would think this group would want to drive and go to the showroom and touch and feel the furniture, but the way that technology has evolved, you use the app, you don't have to go, you can do,
Right.
some of the apps will do the what's it called, augmented reality, and you can,
Right.
you use your camera on your phone and you put the couch where you want it to go, and does it fit, does it look, those kind of things. um the top TV networks, the Learning Channel, Freeform, and OWN. Top retailers are Lowe's, Walmart, and Target. And I think this is the last slide. So they're saying, do these are some of the things that they would disagree or disagree with. So tech products define yourself. They don't agree with that. Technology helps the relationships. They don't agree with that. I'm a tech product first adopter. Disagree. I get excited about new tech products. Disagree. All of these things aren't shocking to me because, again, this is tracking older. Privacy is on top of their mind. They're not averse to technology. They just like, okay, we grew up analog. We really don't need it. We can do without it. So I thought this was interesting. So yeah, that's the last slide. There's some other slides.
What's
If
that
you
last bit?
where? Oh, the technology
Technology
sources.
source of info.
Independent review sites, they're just talking about where they got the information from this slide. Because
Where
again,
the privacy focused consumer gets their sources of tech info
yeah,
from independent.
yes, independent review sites, family. Oh yes. This is where they, because they're not following tech like we follow tech. Like, if we go to TechCrunch, or they're not following Marcus Brownlee. That's his name, right?
Mm-mm.
They're not following him.
Marquez.
Marquez. They're not following him and people of his type. They are getting their information from these people. Probably still reading the news and probably still get a paper that or a magazine, tactile. So that's why they would get their information from independent review sites, family recommendations, or personal use, brands, websites. So they would go to the website versus the younger crowd. Again, they're on TikTok. So if you want to reach that group, you need to be on TikTok with the videos talking about your brand, because they're not going to go to your website. Even though you have a link, they're not going to go. Not Gen Z. They're going to stay on TikTok. They're going to stay on Instagram. They're going to stay where they are. Just like they started to, they don't use Google. They search within TikTok. They search within Instagram. Or, they use the app that they're in. They're not likely to go to another place, whereas they're saying here the privacy focused consumer is going to go to the website. They're going to check out in product reviews and what the other sites that do the price comparisons. They're not going to go. Gen Z's not going to go there, but this group will. So so that means that it's word of mouth, brand websites, and independent review sites, because they grow up analog, so they know to go to the source. Whereas
Right.
Gen Z would just like, whatever's in TikTok, we going with it, because that's how they grew up.
We saw it online. It's got to be true.
Okay, so that's the last slide. Again, there is there's a link to download it yourself. There's some more slides, more slides about Resonate, what they do, and their AI tool, and signing up to be, a client of theirs. So This was one of the things. I just thought some of that information was interesting. Now I had another one from McKinney, but we can look at McKinsey. I keep saying McKinney. McKinsey and Company. They've got, because this study led me down the rabbit hole of those guys. So we can talk about the other one next week. There's
Okay,
we got
yeah,
a whole
this is really interesting.
what's it
And
called?
it's
It's called an update on U.S. consumer sentiment is growing uncertainty, casting a chill on spending plans. So it's about the same kind of thing here, but this is from McKinsey and Company, which Resonate used McKinsey and Forrester as some of their sources. So I was like, let me go to the source. So they had some good stuff. So we'll talk about that next week.
right. So
Okay.
if you need to reach out to TJ, you can do that by going to terryjohnsononline.com/info to
Mm-hmm.
connect with her. Follow her everywhere at Terry Johnson Online. And if you put your comments in the chat about the
Yeah.
report and what you got from it,
Mm-hmm.
and then definitely come back next week for the
Yeah.
next
We'll
segment.
talk about the other the other part of it. So
Right,
oh,
because
excuse me.
this is,
I know it's a lot of data, but I was like, okay, let's.
but here's the thing, data helps you make better decisions.
Yeah, you need to be in the mind of the consumer, and
So
you can see,
if you know what the trends are, you can kind of make a decision about which way you need to be going.
yeah, which way is the wind blowing with these guys? Because you can see in the last 3 months things have changed. I mean, I would say I would. That's why I'm saying I'm look forward to their next report
Right.
to see the difference, because what was going on in December 2024 is not happening now. Can we all agree? It is not happening now. So
Mm-mm.
I just thought it
Different
was interesting.
sentiments, different things happening. And so we
Everything.
need to make some wise decisions. And that is why we are here to help you with that.
Oh, Mark has
Um,
a comment.
yeah, Mark has a comment. He says, I'm very disappointed that no one has brought up the KFC released a chicken toothpaste.
What?
Not April Fools. It's real.
Real?
Seriously?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's April Fool's. I forgot.
Yeah, but he said this was not in the reports. He's saying this was real.
I'm gonna have to look at that, Mark. Thanks for that. I mean, I have not been online yet today, so I know there's a whole bunch of April Fools posts
There's
from
a lot of stuff that's
brands.
out
Yeah,
there. We're like, yeah, whatever.
yeah. So let's check out that. Do we want chicken flavored toothpaste?
No, I don't.
Not I.
What?
Yeah, so
Okay, that's just already messing with your
yeah,
mind.
I'm like, huh? What?
Thank you, Mark,
Thank
having
you,
us
Mark,
think
for bringing
about
that to
chicken
us.
flavored toothpaste.
Yeah. Oh, also, if you have a question, you can find me online wherever you like to hang out. Terry Johnson online,
Mm-hmm. Everywhere.
everywhere.
Look for her. So follow one another here. You got Ask Mark Ward. We got Dr. Tachi with Indie Soup Media.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and here we are always about helping you take the hassle out of your hustle. That is
Yeah.
why we are here. And I
Mm-hmm.
am not sure what happened to my little thing, but
Uh-oh. You can't
yeah,
find
that's
it?
okay. If you want to get
I got
connected
it.
with, okay.
There you go. I see it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You want to check in and connect with us at Bizchicks, text biz to 33777 or go to bizchicks.net. Our first Monday event is coming up on April 6th, I think it is.
I think that's what's
Okay, I need
days
to
from
look.
now.
Okay, I
And
know how
that's
to.
not an April Fool's joke.
No,
No April Fools.
it's April 7th.
April 7th.
Is
There you go.
first Monday event. If you're in the Sacramento area, you can join in at Seasons 52 at 6 o'clock p.m. from 6 to 7:30, and we are looking to uh, stream it
Oh,
this time around.
okay.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that, and
All righty.
you'll be able to find that at bizchicks.live on our YouTube channel. Um, Thank you for tuning in. As always, we're here to help you take the hassle out of your hustle
Yep.
so that you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. And we will see you next week and on Friday.
And tomorrow.
And tomorrow. Yeah, Coach Karen is coming in tomorrow, bringing in profits every day. All righty,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
watching.
Thank you for your comments too.